Hey, welcome everybody to Top of the Stack, my book club. I'm Chester Elton, the co-author of several books that I hope you've read with my dear friend Adrian Gostick, The Carrot Principle, All In, Leading with Gratitude, in our latest book, Anxiety at Work. Well, it was so interesting. Adrian and I were talking with our wonderful team, Natalie Cornu and Christy Lawrence. I said, it's so interesting. We get books sent to us all the time. And we have this stack, and I'm sure many of you know this experience, right? You've got this stack of books next to your bed, and you think, well, which one should I read, right? And so what I hope to do is give you a suggestion of a book or two that you can put at the top of the stack that will help you become a better leader and maybe bring a little joy and insight into your life. Last month we talked about Robert Waldinger's book, The Good Life, based on this fabulous over 80-year-old study at Harvard that now Robert is or Bob, as we like to call him, is the director, talking about what are the key elements of a long, happy, and healthy life. And I hope if you tuned in that you had a chance to pick up a copy, whether it's digital or the physical book or the audio book, which Bob and his co-author Mark Schultz read together. Really, for me, was a game-changing book. And so I hope you had a chance to sample that a little bit. Well, this month, I want to share with you not just one of my favorite authors, he's one of my favorite people. And his name is Scott Jeffery Miller. Scott is prolific in everything he does. For 25 years, he was the marketing director for Franklin Covey. He wrote some wonderful books. Everyone Deserves a Great Manager, the 6 critical practices for leading a team. He wrote The Marketing Mess, being the CMO, obviously right in his wheelhouse. 30 challenges to transform your organization's brand and your own. He's wonderful on his personal brand. And then The Management Mess to leadership success. 30 challenges to become a leader you would follow. And what I love about Scott is he's just so genuine and transparent. He goes, look, I'm a leader and I'm a mess. And so are you. So here are some lessons that I've learned to be less of a mess as a leader. Well, he is also the host of probably the best leadership podcast on the planet. It's a Franklin Covey podcast called On Leadership, and he gets ridiculous guests. Well, he got to thinking about, how can I share this wisdom? He's literally had hundreds of guests. Scan there and it'll take you right to his podcast. So he's cut a contract with a Harper Business, and it's all about, or Harper Leadership, sorry. And he's got 10 books coming out on master mentors. So and again, I just love the way Scott's mind works. He said, some of the greatest mentors in my life are mentors that I have never met, which sounds weird, right? Except that we've all been down that road, right? Mentors that maybe you've had a hero in your life. Maybe it's, Mother Teresa or Nelson Mandela or Winston Churchill, whoever it is. And you studied their lives and you looked at what made them great. And you said, hey, I can do that too. I can be like them, right? So he's come out with 2 volumes so far, Master Mentors Series 1. So these are all available on Amazon. Go and when you go to books, just type in Scott Jeffery Miller. They all pop up. I really would encourage you. This Master Mentors series is amazing, right? So 30 transformative insights from greatest minds. Now, these are all guests that he's had on his podcast. Think of how brilliant that is. Of course, he's a marketing genius, right? So he said, how can I take the great learnings from all these podcasts and put it in an easy to, find file cabinet, for those of you that are old enough to remember what those are, and put these simple little essays. And it's so interesting. I mean, he's got Kim Scott, which was a guest on his podcast, talking all about radical candor, right? Some of my favorite ones here, Daniel Pink, Peak, Through, and Recovery. Liz Weissman, if you haven't read any of Liz Weissman's books, she talks about being a multiplier, not a diminisher. Right? It goes, Whitney Johnson, Disrupt Yourself, another great podcast. So, it's a wonderful way to sample these amazing leadership thinkers in 2 or 3 pages, right? And then, of course, if you like what you read, Go and buy Daniel Pink's book. Go ahead and get Seth Godin's book, Fearless versus Reckless, right? These wonderful insights. Well, that's volume 1. Volume 2 just came out. And again, now there's going to be 10, so pace yourself, right? Although you're going to want the complete set. I mean, if you're a collector, you want the complete set, right? Some of the great ones here, Sean Covey, Self-Worth, Self-Esteem, and Self-Confidence. So what's really great about this is you take a look at the author, but you take a look at the subject and say, you know what? I need some coaching on that. I need coaching on how to maybe be a little more fearless, the courage to disrupt myself, right? Some of the wonderful essays in here, John Huntsman Jr., Hard Work Still Matters, getting back to the basics. Alex Osterwalder, I never get his name right, by the way, and I actually know him, talks about knowing the business of your business. And a wonderful little article by Martin Lindstrom, Uncommon Sense. It talks about common sense uncommonly practiced. I can't tell you how easy this book is to put at the top of your stack, because it doesn't matter where you left off. What you're doing is you're sampling, right? You're sampling these great masters, these great thinkers in just a couple of minutes. Rita McGrath, Seeing Around Corners. I mean, I'm telling you, you get a chance to spend a few minutes with Rita McGrath, that's time really well spent. So can't encourage you enough to discover Scott Jeffery Miller, not only all his other books, which are brilliant, to sign up for this series of master mentors. Listen to his podcast, right? Spend some time and feed your brain. And I get that we're all ADD, right? We're all, don't have enough time. Look, you've got 3-4 minutes at the beginning of your day, maybe while you're taking lunch. Maybe it's the end of the day where you're just unwinding and you're saying, you know what? I'm going to feed my brain. I'm going to pick out a couple of subjects with a couple of amazing authors, amazing thinkers, and treat myself. And then again, if you want to go deeper, look them up and look for their books. I'm honored to actually be in volume 2 as we talk about anxiety in the workplace. So what's going to be at the top of your stack? Where are you going to go to feed your brain? Statistics show that business leaders on average read less than 1 book to improve their leadership skills a year. Well, if you're in that category and you don't have enough time, this is the perfect series for you. I'd also encourage you to look up his podcast. I mean, he gets amazing guests that really do share insights that can make us all better leaders. And by the way, the ripple effect, just be better people. Well, I like to keep these little sessions really, really short. 10 to 15 minutes is what I promise you. To find a book to put at the top of your stack to make you a little better leader and a little better person. I had a wonderful experience just this past Monday with one of my mentors, Marshall Goldsmith. It was a birthday celebration for Marshall. For those of you that have read some of his books, What Got You Here Won't Get You There, and The Earned Life, and on, you'll know that he always wears green. So we all wore green shirts and jerseys and so on. Well, he left us with a thought, and I wrote it down and I want to share it with you as what it means to be a great leader, a great mentor. And he said, you know what? Great leaders, the message is very simple. It's, I want to help you have a little better life. And he said, it's not just enough to say it. You have to mean it. I want to help you have a little better life. Well, if putting a couple of Scott Jeffery Miller's books at the top of your stack helps make you a little better leader and helps you have a little better life, then this 10 minutes we spent together has been worth it. Take care. Follow me on LinkedIn. Sign up for our Leading with Gratitude journal on LinkedIn. Would love to hear your comments. Would love for you to get these books, read them, leave a 5-star review on Amazon, and put really good stuff at the top of your stack. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Take care. Have a great week, and I'll see you back here next month. Cheers.